Hello, good morning, bonjour, good day. Oh, nothing like waking up to a nice cafe, and share my thoughts with you on a subject I've been thinking a little bit about for a while. What did I do there? What did I do? I didn't want to press that. That's what I wanted to press. But before we get into that, I wanted to just check up. Oh, perfect. You won't get to see me play any Boom Beach. That's pretty crazy, because that's a sign that don't waste your time with this nonsense. Just update. Okay. I'm shilling for Boom Beach, but there's a reason. Boom Beach. I wanted to get into the idea of these puppies. Dun 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 dun. Nuclear bombs. Oh, it's a shame you can't. Go on. Refresh the page. So we can see the picture. Oh, yes. So we can take a look at the picture. Nuclear bombs. Nuclear bombs. I remember when I think about nuclear bombs, I think about sitting in a classroom in college in Montreal. So by college, they call it CEGEP, which is in between high school and university, and you can take an extra year of CEGEP and go straight into the work market, or take like a specialization like nursing, for example, in CEGEP and go right into the work market, or you just do the 2 years and jump into university. Funny little thing, exclusive to Quebec. It's specific to Quebec. And so I'm sitting in this classroom, and el professore hands out a sheet of paper with like a grid square, a square grid with lots and lots of dots all over the square grid, like a 10 by 10 square. And in the bottom right square, it was basically completely filled with dots. And he says, "This is the number of nuclear bombs we have in the world." And he said something to the effects of, "The rest of the page is what America has, and that little square in the bottom right, that's the rest of the world. That's what they have." And of course, I was like, ooh, and then you go out on your lunch break and you share this information with your friends. Like, yo, man, there's like shitload of nuclear bombs in the world. And I'll just, if you don't know about nukes, let's see what this
On July 16th, 1945, the United States tested the first atomic bomb, called Trinity. Over the next 5 decades, the country tested more than 200 bombs in the atmosphere. The explosions, called shots, were recorded by dozens.
So, okay, nice, very beautiful image, right? Like, I could take a screen capture of that and print it, put it in a light box, and be like, wow, what is that? That's like, oh, that's cool. Anyways,
film.
We'll just watch this, and then I'll expand. We can make this a longer video. So this is the official story.
For analysis of the bomb's destructive power. Now there's a race on to preserve and digitize those films. Thousands of them.
So some of the cans that we opened up, especially the Trinity films, are quite old. Those that actually turned to dust and had to be destroyed.
Nuclear physicist Greg Spriggs is leading the effort at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. He's working with film specialist Jim Moy to scan and analyze those original test films. The U.S. stopped testing nuclear bombs in 1992, and these films are now some of the best data scientists have to work with.
So this particular film was running about 1,500 frames a second. So we not only captured the shock wave, the reflected shock wave, we're also able to get the yield off of it.
It is cool though, huh?
The awesome cloud forms.
Spriggs saw his first atomic bomb in 1962.
When I was a kid, my dad was in the military, he was in the Navy, and he was stationed on Midway Island out in the middle of the Pacific, and they were doing some high altitude testing over Johnson Island.
Starfish detonated at its planned strength and height.
Shot was detonated about 10 p.m. It was pitch black outside. When it went off, the sky, it looked like it was noon. And it took about 15 minutes for the sky to go through all these different colors and end up coming back to being pitch black again. Had I known I was going to be a nuclear engineer later on, or a nuclear physicist, I would have paid more attention. But to me, it was just a bright flash.
In those days, figuring out the power of a bomb was done by measuring the size of a mushroom cloud, shock waves, or recorded light intensity of an explosion in a bomb film, and it was done by hand.
It would have taken an army of workers a month to just get the light pulse off of one film.
And as Spriggs has discovered, that data was often scattered, and calculations off by as much as 20%.
We were trying to figure out if there was actually some piece of physics that we were missing. The only way to resolve this was to get a hold of the original films and start to reanalyze them to find out whether the data was valid and we were actually missing a piece of physics, or the physics was okay and the data was not that good.
Now they have a Swedish film scanner and sophisticated computer models mowing through miles of film to
That
get a
is
better
pretty
sense of
cool,
the power,
huh?
fallout, and potential destruction of a nuclear bomb.
We're very hopeful that we're going to learn some new things here that they just did not have the technology to do back in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah, so we're all wired. Anyways. Let's see, let's go back here. I'll just click on images. So I'm just going to tell you right away, what I'm about to say is completely my newfound my new position on this subject. It's not new, it's old, so same but different, maybe expanded upon with maybe a little bit more reflection on the thing. So nuclear bombs do not exist. They never have. It's all a hoax. There's no such thing as radiation. It's all a hoax. There's no massive kill all, end all. It's all just been put there for you to look at and wonder. For me, I never even thought to question this stuff, but something happened to me 2-3 years ago that just, I was like, wait a second, this is absolute nonsense. And all it took was one idea to be triggered and for me to start looking at things from a different perspective. And it's like, okay, the question is, why do you believe what you believe? Huh? Established 1983? Why do you believe in nuclear bombs? Well, because I saw it in True Lies that they put a nuclear warhead into a missile and, the guy said, Batri Aziz. Aziz, Batri Aziz. El terroristas. And why do I believe? Because I never really went back and looked at the video footage. Now, I've been looking at some official video footage, and you can just see, knowing what you know today, that we live in a time called the Grand Deception. This is true. Denial is not just a river in Egypt, my friend. This is the fact. But however, be that as it may, do you get depressed about it and you start pulling out your hair? No! Au contraire, mon frère. Au contraire, mon frère. You look into it and you examine it and you observe it and you say, wow. It's incredible how I never realized this stuff before. I never thought of it. Yeah, like I'm a Photoshopper. I'm a graphic designer, everybody. So like, okay, just yeah, ooh. And so then what is its purpose? That's the part that I find is more important too. Let's find a good one. These are all puny little, let's find, that's a nice image. Oh yeah, okay, yes. The Big Kahuna Burger. Hey, it's a double infinity code right there. Happy double infinity, everybody. There it is. It is so appropriately been forever ingrained in your mind. What are you looking at? Yeah? A destructive force that has the capacity to instantly wipe out all life and everything around it. Those buildings were all maquettes, homeboy. Bless your heart if you still believe it after having looked into it, as I like to say. Look into it. Hey, let's put on some tunes at the same time. So those are little things that you can check out in regards to this, but I'm not going to share my own research with you. I just give you my opinion and my conclusion. I just summarize it down and I break it down to this is what it is. You know, take it or leave it. Where are we going? We are going. Okay. I decided it would be make no sense for you to watch a blank screen on a video where I'm trying to talk about the fakery behind nuclear bombs and nuclear belief and our own fears of it. So the other 15 minutes of that video I will try to recapture in a little bit more visual manner without going into YouTube. Let's see if we can do this. Yes, back to the tunes with a little less volume because I realized that was also too loud. So you can hear my analysis of the stuff. And then, where were we? We were here. So I'll start off with this. And I'll let the music play so that we can get a visual.
Hello, my love. Hello, my love. It's getting cold on this island. I'm sad alone. I'm so sad on my own.
So that's the visual destruction, supposedly. That nuclear weapons have, and I assure you, that is nothing more than a maquette, a model. So,
with a smile on your face,
yes. And you know, we all think about nuclear bombs as this mass. What is the truth, Coop? ran out of time. The collective consciousness of humanity was starting to become aware of the shenanigans of this place, and it really is just a power struggle between those that have the means and the power and the capacity to do waging peace. That's a good one. That's very good. Waging peace. Just noticed that. And then when you look at it on the macro level, you really start to understand and form a better understanding of how it all works and what is the glue that keeps it all together. Like really. And we just do. We just absolutely believe this image. Never thought to question it. So I thought it would be nice to listen to some Coop. If you don't know Coop, if you don't know this website, great for listening to music. Full complete albums, of course. So, what is it all for? Well, it's to instill this fake stranglehold over your fear. Over your fear. Control your fear. You can navigate it. And, through fear create hate. And it really is crazy. It really is. When you look at it from a macro level and understand, okay, just say, wait for a second, suspend your belief for just a second. Say, okay, what if, for in fact, established 1983 lives and all these other kooks are actually correct? That, yeah, I was really duped into believing that, ooh, nice little curvature there. Oh, it's a shame, because I did have some very heartfelt comments that I made in the latter part of the last video. It's a very beautiful image though. Yeah, it's much more fun looking at images than a blank screen, I agree. So, the better question is, what is it for? What is its function? Who is the creator of these ideas? Because they are not your own, absolutely not, right? What is going on there? If not just a giant underwater explosion. Yeah, they have TNT. Yeah, they have explosives. Yeah. The big. It's really funny that my thing glitched when I was screen capturing that video. Shitty video anyways. This is much more fun. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. So, the point is that, this is where I introduce my good friend Dr. Mtoto Muzungu. Hello, I am Dr. Mtoto Muzungu. How are you today, doctor? Actually, I have been on a long flight from Dar es Salaam, so I am very, very cranky, but I am ready to give my commentary on this nuclear bomb nonsense. All right, so I'll let you just take it away, Dr. Muzungu. Thank you very much. So, upon further examination of the nuclear concept, the idea of the nuclear bomb, you ask yourself, I've been spending too much time in Little Burgundy, so I say, ask yourself. You must ask yourself the question, what makes me believe this? Just because I am seeing an image, but I have watched many videos, many movies that is made for TV, for the big screen, as they say. And how is that any different from this? It is not. And then when I conclude that, okay, it is very much more possible to just make big explosions and collect the money to do everything else, to feed this machine and to pay for the people that are going to feed this lie and believe it. But ultimately what you are believing in is just a fear base, and until you release your heart from fear, you will forever be oh, look, another one. Oh yes, I saw the earlier image that you started off with this round 2. You started off with this round 2. Good idea on the round 2 established 1983. Good idea, because I was getting very bored. I'm sorry, Dr. Muzungu, I just had to interrupt the musical. Can I continue? Give it a second, Dr. Muzungu.
Back then, things were different. A long time ago, south of hell's borders.
All right, you can continue, Dr. Muzungu. Thank you very much. If you don't mind, I'm going to lower it a little bit so people can hear exactly what I am saying, because I think it is important. I have come to understand that life is actually a very beautiful experience. In fact, in point of fact, I am very lucky that I live in Canada, and I am ultimately the benefactor of all the so-called death and destruction around the world. So-called. I'm not here to say that nobody dies ever, but I am very well aware of the power of propaganda and the power of the image and the power of the television, what it was designed for, what it was created for, the power of all of this, the global health effects of nuclear war, by a man named Brian Martin. Okay, I'm sure he has something to say, but when you look a little bit deeper past it, that is the video, the original video saving. Let's see if we have the intro.
Hello, good morning, bonjour, good day.
Oh, it's like a deja vu. Okay, where was I? Excuse me. You ask yourself, why are you willing to believe certain stories given to you from the mainstream perspective, and you are not able to consider that it is all a big deceptive facade to control your behavior, to control your actions, and ultimately this is the part, because we are all responsible, ultimately to profit from your ignorance, not ignorance, but ignorance, because you are ultimately ignoring the blatant information that is given to you right in front of your eyes. If only you had the eyes open to be aware of, to see. So this is why you now come to listen to my good friend established 1983 to give his perspective on the things that he has uncovered since he has opened his eyes. And furthermore, I have to commend the brother because he seems to have no fear of offending people in the real world. Apparently he's offended many people in his real life and in his personal life that they are not the capacity to comprehend his lucidness is not there. Anyways, but I digress on the subject of established 1983. I'll let him talk about himself if he wants to. My point is this. We collectively continue to believe things that have been in some shape or another proven, outright, proof, fact. Look into it, it is a fact. I did not make this shit up. And there's no need to get upset, but think what you think. Denial is not just a river in Egypt. It does not exist. Period. End of story. Now, you want to continue to believe this nonsense? Then, as my good friend said, bless your heart. But I assure you the day will never come when we will all be blown up to smithereens. Smithereens by this Photoshop image. I assure you. You will be watching it on the television if and or when it fake happens. As opposed to going out and doing stuff in the real world, which brings me to my point that at the end of the day, it was all just a method for you to infiltrate your conscious, your subconscious, to poison your well of well-being. Ultimately, okay, your innate goodness. They are trying. They say the people. They is you. You is they. Okay, so they is you if you want they to be the creators of this, but ultimately it is you who is they creating all this and believing it, because it is comical. It is comical. I have to say, it is comical. All right, well, thank you very much, Dr. Mtoto Muzungu. Thank you, Established 1983, for having me on. It's been a long time. I will go about my day now and leave you to your video making. Well, drop by anytime. So that's my good friend, Dr. Mtoto Muzungu. He likes to drop in from time to time. He originally started featuring in the Papa T 333 world. I wonder what happened to Papa T. Maybe we'll have him come on as well at some point. But all this to say is, bless your heart if you want to believe it. It ain't real, and I'm not upset about it. Nor am I upset if you think I'm crazy to think that. It's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's a nice image, though. It's a beautiful image, that's for sure. It's like awe-inspiring. Anyways, I'm gonna end it here. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Don't overdo it. Do it over. And I'll see you again soon.